me teaching this isn't going to change anything. The level of trades that are being pushed through these markets is not going to be changed by you watching these videos, because honestly, I've taught for years, and there's a lot of people that just simply cannot follow instructions. They can't follow rules, and they want to fault somebody else. They want to fault this one over here. They want to fault me. They want to fault the concepts, when there's people already out there proving just from the free stuff that they're passing competitions and challenges and, making money in their own accounts. You're doing very well in demo. They all have a wide range of experiences already. And I've only started the last week or so in January. So this business is very personal, and it's going to reveal a lot of things about you. And you're going to see things that you didn't recognize before. And sometimes it's going to be ugly. You're not as good as you thought you were. You're not as astute as you thought you were. You're not as responsible as you thought you were. Believe me, I learned those lessons in the 90s, and it was not fun. And you resist it. And the folks that resist it will never get it. And they'll never learn how to trade profitably from anyone else, because they have a deep-rooted issue within themselves. So it won't make a difference if somebody else steps in and says, hey, I got something that's going to do it for you. ICT complicates things. I'm going to give you this thing here. You push a button and it gets you in. No, the same underlying issues that are plaguing the individual will manifest in any trading approach, because they lack responsibility, number one. They lack the adherence to rules, and they have not put enough time. If you're not getting instant gratification, you're done. That's what the main critical thing about me is, because I'm lecturing, I'm teaching you what you're going to encounter. You may not feel this is applicable to you, but I guarantee you stay long enough in this, you're going to be met with this. And if I don't tell you how to deal with it or overcome it, or think about how you should be overcoming it when you get to that bridge, okay, because you're all going to get to it eventually. Different times, different people. Everyone grows differently. But you're going to have these crossroads where you come to, where you feel like, I don't think I should be doing this anymore. I think I should be doing that. Or the grass looks greener on that over here. Or this person made money over here, and I haven't made money this week. So maybe my stuff's broken. Let me go over here and look at this. That's nonsense. There's people out there that don't trade like me, and they make millions because they are good money managers. Period. That's it. They have something that gives them a decision-making process. They call it their system, okay, or their edge. But really, they're just good money managers. Period. They have something that instigates the idea of a transaction in the marketplace. They have a faith-based system in believing that as long as it doesn't do this, go down to a level where they would put a stop, they'll stay with that idea. And then when it gets to another level, they get out. That's trading, okay? But the idea is, I don't think that profitable systems outside of what I'm teaching are linked to their actual system. It's linked to their adherence to their rules, sound money management, and not over trading and not over leveraging. Because literally, I could flip a quarter, and you could too. With sound money management, you could make an account be profitable. Now that sounds crazy, okay? Do it with a demo. That's what I'm suggesting to you here. Flip a quarter. If it's heads, you buy. Flip a quarter. If it's tails, you sell short. Do it every single day. Don't risk more than 0.5%. Aim for 1% and do that. Buy the open, sell the open. That's it. It's all you do. Use a 30 pip stop and trade a Forex pair and do it. Okay? And just test the idea and see how hard it is to blow the account. It takes a lot of effort to blow that account. But over time, you can see that it can show profitability. Now, if you take that application and apply it to, okay, what happens if you limit your number of trades? If you remove the frequency at which you trade intra-week, that means what days of the week you're actually going to specifically trade on. And then within those days, what specific time of that day are you going to trade on? And then what asset classes are you going to trade? And inside that asset class, what specific market are you going to trade? And inside that specific market, Are you going to be bullish or are you going to be bearish? So you're refining everything down to an algorithm or a recipe, because a recipe is an algorithm. Okay, you have this list of ingredients, and you put these ingredients and combine them in a specific order, and at the end you should have an expected result being a cake or a cookie or whatever it is that your mother or grandmother used to make for you. Bottom line is, I'm giving you recipes. Now, it's up to you to decide on what you're going to do with this information. I show it, as you see every single week in my mentorship group. I talk about where the market's going to go beforehand. I'm not telling you to buy or sell short anything at any one particular level. I'm pointing to where the market's going to go because I've already taught you entry strategies, but I'm not trying to force a specific entry strategy on any one student or all of you collectively, because there is no pressing all of you into a mold, because that will absolutely guarantee failure as a mentor, and it'd be failure for a community of students. I'm cognizant that there is a wide disparity between my personality and everyone else's, and just as well as if we were all in a room, we would all have different personalities as well. That's going to be an issue for all of you. So my teaching style allows for you to find your own style in the tools and concepts that I teach. Now, I could trade with every single one of them, and my better students can do it with a good list of them, but I don't have one student out there that can do everything well, perfectly. I haven't had that yet. I like to believe before I pass on, I will, but I don't have that yet. But I do have some extremely good traders, some consistently good, profitable traders. But I also have failures. These folks just simply can't get it. Now, in a YouTube community, give it time. You're gonna see people commenting that they can't do it. Okay, my encouragement to all of you is the same thing I'm going to tell you that I tell my private group in the forum. Do not gang up on them. Don't make fun of them. Don't say, oh, well, this, that, and the other thing. Be encouraging to them, because really, if they're posting that, they're hurting. They feel frustrated, and they're basically saying, unless someone intervenes right now, I'm going to quit. And I have done that. There's been nobody to tell me, keep going. Okay, back in the 90s, I just had to persevere. I'm hoping by me showing these things publicly, talking about what is going to happen, where it's going to go, it proves to you that it's possible to forecast these price moves. Now, what you do is you go back inside of all the moves here and decipher what it is I'm pointing to and why it was useful for you to find a setup in it, and does that setup repeat enough for you to justify that specific way or approach of trading? What do I mean by that? Some of my students can't day trade. They just don't have the ability to do it. They have businesses or school, or they have jobs, and they have to be making ends meet. They're elsewhere. They can't be in front of the charts, so they have to position trade. So that means they're going to have to trade on the daily chart or a 4-hour chart. And that's fine, you can do that. It just takes a lot of time to move from these levels here down to here. And then you got to wait a long time for the next new setup. I'm not a fan of that, but I'm not trying to discourage anybody that has to operate under those restraints. I'm forcing you to study price action. You have to learn how to tape read. And if you can't tape read, you will not be consistent in your trading. Period. End of story. That's the way it is. Because everything that you'll be doing if you make money is really not based on the market. It's based on circumstance. And believe me, I've had periods of being profitable with just dumb luck. It happened, folks. In the 90s, I really thought when I first started that, wow, I've read a book, and I watched a couple of videos, and wow, this stuff really works. And what I was really doing was just buying a perpetual bull market, and everything was going up. I could have threw a dart at the wall, and whatever it hit, I was buying that, and it made money. Everything was going up. So it tricked me into thinking I knew what I was doing at the time, and I didn't. So it's this navigation through the asset classes that experience, and those with experience doing it, know how to do. 30 years, I've been doing this stuff. 30 years. And those 30 years, the greatest lessons I learned was what I'm suggesting and talking about right now. To some of you young guys, okay, it's just too much talking. But these are the things that you need to understand, because they're going to be the impediments to you succeeding. Because you think every day there's going to be a big move in the euro because you see something. Just because you think you see something doesn't mean that market's going to do anything. You're going to do something incorrectly because you're in a rush. Because you want to feel like you have to know right away it works for you. And there is no right away in trading, except for blowing your account. Because if you don't know what you're doing, right away, you're going to blow your account. Okay, it's what's going to happen. So I talk and I teach like this, so that way you know you have been fortified with all these things in advance. What to look out for, what not to fall victim to, how to think about it, and mental perspective on what you're doing as a trader and what the market should be doing. They have to be in agreement. And it takes time for that to happen. It doesn't happen by watching a video. It doesn't happen in 40 days. Okay? It doesn't happen in 120 days. It doesn't happen in the first year. It takes a little bit of time. So there's a lot of fumbling that you're going to have to do that figure out what you are looking for. Because right now, if you're just starting, I'm promising you right now, you have no idea what you want to do. And you're probably not realizing that what you're going to evolve into, the end results of a speculator, what you're doing as a trading model and how you're trading the markets, you don't even know what that is yet. That's a gradual thing that it becomes, well, obvious to someone that has taken this on as a business. Not, I'm going to school. I'm treating this like a college degree. Well, that's good when you first start, but you need to treat this like a business. Are you going to open up a business and just not worry about it every day? You're going to be worrying about it every day. And you can put all your time and effort into it. That's how you should treat this. Every day, whether the transactions that you make are profitable or not, they're all learning experiences.